Once upon a time, in a bright and cheerful little forest, there lived a rabbit named Ruby. Ruby was known for her silky white fur and her knack for finding the sweetest carrots around. But lately, Ruby wasn't her usual happy, hoppity self. She was spending all her days deep in thought, staring at the sparkling river that ran through the forest. One sunny afternoon, Ruby's best friend Benny the squirrel scampered over to her. His bushy tail bounced like a spring as he plopped down beside her. "Ruby, what's wrong? Why are you staring at the river instead of playing with us?" Benny asked, tilting his head. Ruby sighed deeply. "Benny, I've been thinking, if I could collect all the shiny stones from the river, I'd be the prettiest, most famous rabbit in the whole forest." Benny blinked. "The shiny stones? But why do you need all of them? You're already great, Ruby." "But if I had them," Ruby said, her eyes glittering, "I would feel special. Everyone would notice me like never before." That day, Ruby made up her mind. She hopped to the riverbank and began piling all the shiny stones she could find into her little basket. One stone, then another, then another. The pile grew and grew until she could barely carry it. Benny helped her drag the basket up to her burrow, shaking his head all the way. Day after day, Ruby worked hard to collect more stones, ignoring her friends playing tag in the meadow or munching fresh clover near the hill. When they called out to her, Ruby only said, "I can play later. I need more shiny stones." But something strange began to happen. As her pile of stones grew bigger, Ruby felt more frustrated than happy. No matter how many she collected, she always felt like there were more she needed to get. One evening, as she sat alone in her burrow, surrounded by her glittering stones, Benny tapped on her door. When Ruby opened it, Benny wasn't smiling. "I miss you, Ruby," Benny said quietly. "We all do. You don't laugh or run with us anymore. What's the point of the shiny stones if you're not even happy?" Ruby hesitated, looking back at her pile. "But I thought the stones would make me happy," she whispered. Benny took her paw and led her outside. The forest glowed in the golden sunset. Birds chirped, the wind danced through the trees, and their friends were laughing not far away. Ruby hadn't noticed how much she'd missed it. Suddenly, the biggest weight Ruby felt wasn't from the stones, it was in her heart. She realized Benny was right. The next morning, Ruby did something surprising. She carried the stones back to the river, tossing them gently into the stream, one by one. With each splash, she felt lighter. By the time the last stone was gone, Ruby felt like she could hop higher than ever. From that day on, Ruby played under the sun with Benny and her forest friends. And when she looked at the river, she saw the shiny stones sparkling in the water just as beautifully as before. But this time, instead of wanting them all, Ruby felt free just to enjoy them. Because sometimes Ruby understood it's not what you have that makes you happy, it's who you share your days with.